Today I brought my Baroque Christmas carol that I wrote.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. And it's called Songs Written by Angels.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if any of y'all remember any of the words, you can feel free to sing some words with me. All right, here we go. Voices that ring from the quiet within us, Gloria, singing the song of our blessed existence, Gloria. Always we dwell in the light, children of angels delight. Joy is born to us, we are glorious. Hark, can you hear it, voice of the Spirit, singing tidings of infinite love, songs written by angels for us. Peace to all people, rejoice and be happy, Gloria. All good is given, you take it gladly, Gloria. We are not loved from afar, angels wherever we are, singing the tale of our worth, bringing back heaven to earth. Hark, can you hear the voice of the Spirit, singing tidings of infinite love, songs written by angels for us. Singing with us in one glad affirmation, Gloria. Waking or dreaming, one meditation, Gloria. Each of us plays a part, children of heaven's heart, dearer than moon and sun, blessed when creation begun. Hark, can you hear it, voice of the Spirit, singing tidings of infinite love, songs written by angels for us. Songs written by angels for us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yay.
That's a great melody. I'm telling you, man. I
It
love
is.
that. That thing just flows.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I should eventually get it published somewhere.
Yeah, you should, yeah.
Yeah,
Indy
you
is
should.
Indy is an angel.
Oh,
That's what we'll title it.
thank you. All right, so today we're going to talk about metaphysical meanings of Christmas carols. Today we are within the 12 days of Christmas, otherwise known as Christmastide. Historically, Christmas Day on December 25th was not the final day of celebration for the year. The 12 days that followed were still a time for feasting, reflecting, and yes, even singing yet more Christmas carols. And I know you might be thinking, what? More Christmas carols? But haven't H-E-B and Walmart run over our ears enough times already this season by playing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? And I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus? Yes, H-E-B and Walmart tend to play and replay a lot of Christmas hits, so much so that somebody wrote a song called It's Beginning to Suck a Lot at Walmart.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, I guess that's a real song you can look up on the internet. But don't worry, those are not the songs that we're going to look at today. You might find it interesting that in the old days, holiday carols were a method of teaching. And the old carols link us with history. Their images might evoke other times and places, but they also contain metaphysical messages that center us in the eternal now moment, and they have something to teach us today. Eric Butterworth said, "The lovely symbols and legends of Christmas point to something very personal, the awakening of the song of the God self in each of us." And one example of a song with lessons for us is the Christmas carol, "O Little Town of Bethlehem." It's also worthwhile to know about the man who wrote it, an American songwriter named Phillips Brooks. Brooks was a minister who believed in the transformative power of love. During his lifetime in the 1800s, he was also an abolitionist who was dedicated to social justice and an end to slavery. Hello?
Sorry, I'm gonna adjust the.
Okay, thank you. Reverend Brooks, who lived during the American Civil War, spoke these words of truth. "The greatest battles are not fought with sword and shield, but within the depths of our own hearts and minds. It is in the darkest moments of our lives that we discover the strength and resilience that lie within us." In 1865, Reverend Brooks was invited to deliver the eulogy at President Lincoln's funeral service. After the service, he took a sabbatical and traveled to the Holy Land. One night, he visited Bethlehem, the place where Jesus was born. As he looked out on the scenic landscape, he became inspired and he began to write a poem in his mind. "O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, a silent star goes by." And I know in today's hymnal it says, "the silent stars go by," plural stars. But back when he wrote it, he just wrote, "A silent star goes by," as if it was the star of Bethlehem.
Great.
Yeah. Later back in America, after he finished writing the poem, his church organist set the words to music, and the song, "O Little Town of Bethlehem," was performed by a children's choir for the very first time. And other churches began to use the song too, and it became a favorite Christmas carol. But let's celebrate the song in a new way today by looking at the metaphysical meaning of the first two verses. The song begins, "O Little Town of Bethlehem," but the song isn't just about the ancient town. Charles Fillmore said that the silent star that goes by is the Star of Bethlehem, the inner conviction of our divine sonship. That conviction is also our belief in our ability to accomplish what we undertake. "In thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light" means the everlasting light of our Christ consciousness. Through the song, we invite it to shine anew, even in the dark streets of our own lives. In every circumstance, it waits for us to acknowledge it. And of course, we acknowledge it again and again, don't we? The word hope means waiting on God expectantly. In the second verse, where it says, "For Christ is born of Mary," Mary represents our souls when we magnify God, when we make God greater than our problems. We are all Mary because we are all the mother of God, because we all give birth to the Christ. And we do that over and over again, don't we? The angels who keep watch represent messengers who bring us inspiration and spiritual thoughts. The Star of Bethlehem proclaims the holy birth of Christ in us and our oneness with God. We sing praises or songs of joy about the I am within. And we manifest transcendent experiences of divine peace in our lives. And now, you've got the lyrics there on your song sheet, let's sing those first two verses and see if you can, absorb some or think about some of that metaphysical meaning this time. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent star goes by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. Oh, morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to us on earth. All right, very nice, everybody. So hopefully that deepened your experience of that carol.
Yeah, very nice.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, here is another cool anecdote that I thought you'd want to know about the writer of A Little Town of Bethlehem. He had an interesting experience when he met wise little Helen Keller when she was only 11 years old. He knew that after having been isolated from the world by having been born, not exactly born, both deaf and blind, she was born, I think, hearing and seeing, but then I think within the first 3 years of her life, she got some kind of illness that caused her to lose them. But having been isolated that way, she had been blessed to have a great teacher, Anne Sullivan, and had made great breakthroughs in learning to communicate. By the time Helen was 11, she had learned so many things that she was able to attend a special school. Having heard of Helen's great progress, Reverend Brooks didn't want her spiritual education to be neglected. And so he and his wife, who was deaf, by the way, visited Helen and told her stories about the gospel. And she had never heard them before. But then Helen surprised him by saying, "Somehow I always knew that God existed, but I didn't know his name until now." Isn't that something?
Wow.
That even in the darkness, young Helen felt the presence of divine love. And what a wonderful teaching that is from a child.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Later, Helen Keller wrote, "I believe that God is in me as the sun is in the color and fragrance of a flower, the light in my darkness, the voice in my silence." Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Amazing.
Helen also gave us a teaching that we will continue learning forever. She said, "It is so pleasant to learn about new things. Every day I find how little I know, but I do not feel discouraged since God has given me an eternity in which to learn more." So that's really cool and amazing to think about too. She also taught us not to give up in times of challenge. "Be of good cheer. Do not think of today's failures, but of the success that may come tomorrow. You have set yourself a difficult task, but you will succeed if you persevere, and you will find a joy in overcoming obstacles, a delight in climbing rugged paths, which you would perhaps never know if you did not sometimes slip backward. if the road was always smooth and pleasant. I know I can relate to that. But maybe that makes difficulties seem, I don't know, somehow joyful when we think of them that way. When Helen Keller grew up, she always remembered how special it was to have met Reverend Brooks and how he went out of his way to care for her spiritual education. Although she couldn't hear his Christmas carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, the words were something she continued to treasure all her life. All right, so another song we can learn from today is Silent Night. First, the song had humble but inspiring origins. The year was 1818. It was the afternoon of Christmas Eve in a small, obscure village called Oberndorf, located near the Austrian Alps. The church organist, Franz Xavier Gruber, arrived early to rehearse the music. He wanted to make the music sound glorious. His father didn't approve of his being a musician, feeling it would never make his son much money. But Franz was born to play music. And so he had secretly learned to play musical instruments without his father knowing about it. Now here he was, with an actual job as the organist for St. Nicholas Church, preparing to play at the Christmas Eve midnight mass. But when Franz tried to rehearse for the service, his worst nightmare happened. The organ wouldn't play. He rushed into the office of the newly hired priest, Father Joseph Moore, and told him the terrible news that the organ was broken. The young priest, Father Moore, tried to take the news in stride. He could tell that the organist was very distraught. He himself needed to wrap his head around the idea of a glorious Christmas Eve Mass without organ music. To clear his head, he put on his warmest coat and set out to make several pastoral visits to some of the homes of his mountain parish. All the while, the problem of the church organ was still in his thoughts. He knew there was no time to get the organ fixed that day. How could they have a Christmas service without music? That afternoon, Father Moore went to the humble cottage of a poor woodcutter to welcome and bless a newborn baby. On his way, he mentally compared the scene of that new baby with the scene of the newborn Christ child in a humble stable. He found himself creating a poem about the night both infants had been born. Excuse me. After that, Father Moore hurried home to finish writing the poem and forgot all about being discouraged about the organ. Before long, he had written the complete poem, and he named it Silent Night. Back at the church, Franz the organist was still upset about the organ, and he was pacing. But to the organist's surprise, Father Moore no longer wanted to focus on the organ. The priest handed his new poem to Franz and then went to the next room, got a guitar, and put the instrument into Franz's hands. Father Moore said to Franz, "Write some music for my new poem, and we will sing it at midnight mass, organ or no organ." The organist protested by saying he was an organist, not a guitarist. Father Moore said, "Surely you know 3 guitar chords." Franz nodded. Father Moore said, "Then write your music as simple as possible. On those 3 chords, arrange it for 2 voices, and tonight while you play, you and I will sing the new carol, and the service will be worthwhile if for no other reason than that the congregation will get to hear it for the first time and hear their minister and their musician sing a vocal duet in harmony." And so Silent Night was born, accompanied by guitar, the first time it was ever sung. From there, this humble Christmas carol spread around the earth, becoming an all-time favorite. A group of traveling folk singers learned the song and included it in their performances throughout Europe and later in Boston and New York City. Now it has been translated into hundreds of languages and is the most popular Christmas carol of all time. Years later, in 1914, during World War I, the song Silent Night was part of an impromptu Christmas Eve truce. Because the song had been translated into so many languages, it was the only song all the soldiers knew in common. They all sang it together in their own languages, their voices raised together in German, French, and English. And now, let's look at the song's metaphysical message, which unites people through shared hope and oneness. This song is a call to create space to connect with divine presence. Silent night means inner stillness. It refers to our experience of profound peace and spiritual awakening, which transcends the noise and chaos of the external world. Unity teaches that peace comes from God's presence within, not the absence of problems. And so the song provides a safe space to reflect. And we can use this song's images and words as an anchor. The birth of the Holy Infant means realizing one's own divinity. Sleep in heavenly peace means to rest in contemplation or meditation. From a heavenly place within, we sing the word Alleluia, a word of praise which makes us feel joy. The Christ consciousness is born in us. It is the perfect idea of God in us, which is our birthright. We have love's pure light within us. When we sing radiant beams from thy holy face, that's God's love shining through you and me. Radiance represents the inner light and unfolding of the Christ within. We are always giving birth to God. The song's overall message is of grace and hope and assurance that a higher power is at work in our lives. So now, with those thoughts in mind, excuse me, let's sing it and celebrate the song's meaning. I'm having some allergy stuff, but I'm sure y'all will help me sing.
We will.
I can count on y'all.
You bet.
All right. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infants so tender and mild, sleep Thank you.
I'm so glad we sang that song.
What?
I'm so glad we sang that song.
Cool. All right. It's one everybody seems to know. All right, well, to help us end this Christmastide celebration in high spirits today, let's do Deck the Halls, which is fun to sing. Thinking about the song's metaphysical symbolism, the boughs of holly are evergreen, like the hope and resilience we have within us. Yuletide, or the winter solstice, reminds us that the light of the sun will be reborn and that darkness always turns to dawn. The song rekindles a spirit of not only enjoyment, but also of reflection on the cosmic and personal cycles in our lives, so that we might notice that light returns and conquers darkness. So, all right, let's sing Deck the Halls. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Tommy Morella, fa la 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 la. Troy Churchill's a carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la la la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, la 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 la. While I sing of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. Sing joyous all together, fa la 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 la. Peace of the winter weather, fa la 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 la. Woo!
Yay!
So in summary, we have just celebrated Christmastide, a time of continued singing and reflection people used to do during the 12 days of Christmas. We also experienced how songs were used as a method of teaching long ago, and I hope you also felt enriched by exploring a deeper metaphysical meaning in those glorious songs of old. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
You're
That's
welcome.
wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yay!
Woo! Thank you. All right, so we may have time for maybe one more song and then to close out the service.
Okay.
If that clock is right over there. I knocked it down. I knocked down the clock. When I came in, I was trying to set my guitar over there and it went. So hopefully I didn't.
We're doing good.
Okay, all
That
right.
sounds like me.
Great, okay. So this one's kind of nice. Why don't we do Angels We Have Heard on High, which is hymn number 279. 279. So let me do it in a higher key for us. I think this is going to be better.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Wow, we're around to
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say, what may the tidings be which inspire your heavenly song? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo.